Welcome to Bless Dem Boyz, a podcast that is ready to get hurt again. We're one Saints fan and one Cowboys fan, one fan of who dat and one fan of that win. We're here to give weekly takes and game recaps, bad betting picks, game previews, and the occasional Seinfeld reference.
This week, we start our divisional previews with the AFC and NFC East. And in that vein, our patron Saint/Cowboy is someone who also played for 3 of the 4 AFC East teams. That gentleman is fullback Darian Barnes, a native of Toms River, New Jersey. He attended Rutgers University on a football scholarship. Did not play as a freshman. He had 20 carries for 50 yards as a sophomore. Sat out his junior season and then transferred to Hampton University, where as a senior, he appeared in 10 games and accumulated 27 carries for 93 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 reception for 7 yards. In July of 2022, he was signed by the New York Football Giants as an undrafted free agent. September of that year, he was waived by the Giants, but signed by the Buccaneers the very next day and ended up being a member of the Super Bowl 37 championship team, contributing mostly on special teams. Barnes played for the Bucs again in 2003 until he was placed on IR in December. And then on April 25th of 2004, he was traded by the Bucs to Brandon's Dallas Cowboys along with a seventh-round pick that eventually would turn into Patrick Criteron. And Barnes would play the entire 2004 season with the Cowboys. In 2005, the Cowboys waived Barnes, who then signed with his first AFC East team, the Miami Dolphins. Barnes would remain with the Dolphins through 2006. In March of 2007, he moved to the New York Jets, where he played this 2007 season before being released in November. January of 2008, Barnes signed with his final AFC East team, the Buffalo Bills, but was released 4 games into the season on September 30th after suffering a sprained right foot injury. October of 2008, Barnes was signed by the Detroit Lions, but he was released on November 11th. A week later, November 18th, Barnes was signed by the New Orleans Saints, where he reunited with Sean Payton. You may have heard of him, who was his offensive coordinator with the Cowboys. The Saints waived Barnes on December 21st of that year, re-signed him to a futures contract following the season, but then finally released him on July 23rd of 2009. Barnes would finish his NFL career with 5 rushing attempts for 10 yards, 16 receptions for 121 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. And Brandon, I think you'll like this. His 1 receiving touchdown was scored on Thanksgiving 2004 as a member of the Dallas Cowboys against the Bears.
We should. I want to pause here because I was looking through the show notes as you were putting this together, and I saw this, and so I thought I remembered this game, but I thought the Cowboys lost it. But this is one that the Cowboys and Bears played on Thanksgiving that the Cowboys actually won. But going back and looking at this, at the box scores and the game logs for this is like staring into the abyss because the players on the Bears side of this, like their quarterbacks were Craig Krenzel and Jonathan Quinn. Thomas Jones was on here. Anthony, former Cowboy legend Anthony Thomas as well. Their leading receiver was Thomas Jones with 4 catches for 48 yards. The Cowboys started Drew Henson, who was pulled after going 4 for 12 with an interception that was returned for a touchdown. Vinny Testaverde came in and led the Cowboys to victory. Julius Jones and Eddie George were the running backs.
Nice.
And the receiving options here were Cowboys and future patron Terrence Copper, Keyshawn Johnson.
Terrence Copper, you said?
Terrence Copper.
I don't know.
Former Saint.
We haven't gotten to him yet.
We have not. So on the upcoming season,
he's coming.
And then Quincy Morgan, Jason Witten had 3 catches for 17 yards, and then Darian Barnes had the 1 catch for 5 yards and a touchdown.
So what you're telling me is this was probably not the most watched Thanksgiving Day.
It was. This is one where you were hoping to have that tryptophan induced nap during it.
Must miss.
Exactly. We need to get that sound clip for the season.
Well, I was going to give a shout out to Andy, the Bears fan. Andy, if you remember this game, let me know. 'Cause I'd like to hear it from a Bear. Because if the starting quarterback matchup was Drew Henson and Craig Krenzel,
yeah,
man, that's
you don't get any more must miss than that.
And think about this, boys and girls. This was back in the day where there was no nighttime Thanksgiving game. So this was the last game that you saw on Thanksgiving. Was that game that Brandon just described?
It probably brought your Thanksgiving lunch back up.
Hopefully the Lions game. I'm actually curious. Well, I'll look it up here when we transition to the next segment. But I wonder what the Lions game was like that day. Getting back to Mr. Barnes here. In 2010, Barnes played in the UFL for the then Florida Tuskers, who were coached at the time by Jay Gruden. So Barnes was coached by both John and his brother Jay at one point. After football, Barnes created a comic book called the National Triumph League, along with a partner which sees professional athletes blessed with superhuman talents. In 2013, Barnes began coaching high school football, starting at his alma mater, Toms River North, as an assistant coach. In 2014, he was named the interim head coach at Colts Neck High School, promoted to permanent head coach in 2015, and he resigned after the 2017 season with a career record of 8-22. And finally, in June of 2020, so about 5 years ago now, Barnes competed on the 20th season on the Food Network show Worst Cooks in America. So there you go. I'm Paul the Saints fan.
I'm Brandon the Cowboys fan.
We're your hosts. Izzy? What time is it?
Yeah, that's it. It's go time. Let's see you lift that.
Mr. Vanderbaum, please.
It's go time.
This one's for you, Pop. It's go time.
It's go time.
You've been married 3 times.
That's it. It's go time.
It's go time.
So Paul, I looked up the Lions game. It was not any better. It was.
Hold on, wait. Is this Charlie Batch Lions error?
No, this is actually Joey Harrington.
Oh, Joey Harrington. That's right. Because that's right.
So it was
who did
they were playing the Peyton Manning led Colts, who scored.
I think I remember this game. Yeah,
they scored 41 points in 3 quarters. Peyton Manning threw 6 touchdown passes, and the leading scorer for the Lions was Mr. Jason Hansen, who kicked 3 field goals.
Yeah, I definitely remember. This was like I definitely remember this game. I remember because the Lions were wearing those old school, I think, blue and gray uniforms.
With the plain helmet, right?
Yeah, with like a plain helmet. And Manning was just throwing it all over the yard. No regard for
Jim Sorgi got into this game, so that's how you know it was bad.
Yeah. See, 2004. So this is 2 years before the Colts won the Super Bowl.
Correct.
6. Ooh, so that was probably was that Joseph Adai or was that Edgerrin James?
Edgerrin James was still there at that point.
Adai came maybe the next year or after that.
Live and let it die.
Live and let it die. Yeah. All right, so a few housekeeping items before we roll on here. Got a lot to get to tonight. If you'd like to contact the show, you can do so at blessdemboys@gmail.com, BLESSDEMBOYZ. We're on X at bless_dem_boys, on Blue Sky also. You can follow myself. I'm at Paul Elliott _316. That's PAULELLIOTT. Brandon is at Ball from Grace on X. As I mentioned, we are on Blue Sky also. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, first of all, thank you. You can also check us out, on Spotify and Apple. Please leave a rating and review. I did see that we have 5 subscribers on our YouTube channel, I believe.
Ooh, I think we added. We must have added one then. I think because we were last time I checked, we were at 4.
Yeah, I don't know how to check who is our subscribers, but
yeah, they won't let you see that information.
Yeah,
That's classified.
But whoever you are, we salute you. Thanks for getting in on the ground floor with us here. So
I thought of someone we should try to get to follow us now.
Oh, go ahead.
She's big on being a brand ambassador, and she's got great genes, Miss Sydney Sweeney.
There you go.
There we go.
I did want to mention Mr. Barnes, our patron saint. I did follow him on.
Oh, there you go.
From our account, from the show account, and then also from my account. He's at Darian_Barnes, I believe. He doesn't have a lot going on there, but
we need to like tweet out who we need to start tagging if we can find them, the people that we use as the patrons.
And then maybe find a picture, because I did somebody because I found his X profile on Wikipedia, and then I searched Darian Barnes on Twitter, on X, and somebody had tweeted out like, "Hey, remember this random fullback from whenever?" So, yeah, we need to see if we can find a picture of him in Cowboys and Saints uniforms.
Oh, absolutely.
Tweet out like a side by side. So yeah, shout out to Mr. Barnes if you're out there. Hopefully he's doing well. So please like, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the bots. Shout out to everyone out there. We'll get to the football in a second. Like I said, we are going to be previewing the AFC and NFC East. But first, we at Dem Boyz pride ourselves on being able to talk about other things.
But enough about fish. I can discuss other things,
It feels good to have the soundboard back.
It does. I'm glad you're at the controls and not me. I wasn't apt to be doing that. So
you gotta turn the live button on. I think that's what was missing.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think so.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
It's like Jerry says when your car breaks down and you start looking under the hood. It's like, what are you looking for? A giant on-off switch turned off.
Giant turned off. Yeah. You put up the hood. That's good because it obstructs her view.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, Mr. Wizard, what you get up to this week?
So I'm going to lead off with the big ticket item. I knocked off another movie on the top 100 list. I knocked off number 1. My wife and I watched Parasite this weekend.
I'm very interested to hear your thoughts.
Man, that was an excellent movie. And it just felt like when they got to the dinner scene at the house, like that felt like it's like something. This is where it goes wrong. Like, this is where they got all the stuff on the floor. They're making a mess. And it's raining outside, and you're like, okay, this is it. But then, like, you expect the family to come back, but then the old housekeeper showing up, and then in the basement, and then everything is off the rails from there. Like, it does such a good job of like building up, and then like it gets to that point, and then it's just like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, and then the last like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, like from the birthday party onward, it's just like hold on to your hats, man.
Yeah. Well, and then like when the sun goes down there with the rock, and then like he escapes at first, and then like he's running, but the like chain is like still dragging behind him. You're like, grab the chain, pick up the chain, pick up the chain, pick up the chain. What are you doing? Oh,
yep.
Man, that the guy in the basement's eyes, he just had like his eyes are just like so big and creepy too.
So I'm just checking on Letterboxd to see if any of my friends had this rated lower than 4 or 5 stars. Like they got a couple 3. There's a couple 2s.
Yeah, I think who's giving this a 2? Someone who doesn't like reading subtitles, apparently.
What I
what
love
kind
is
of friends are you? You're got a real Algonquin round table over there.
What I love, my favorite is when somebody will give something 2 stars, but they'll like it. They'll it's like, well, of course I say that. I've probably done that too. I know I've
2 stars.
I've rated something.
2 stars, good enough.
Yeah, good enough. I know I've rated something like 2.5, but given it a like just because it's like, I forget what movie it was, but it's like the best 2.5-star movie you could ever watch. You know what I mean?
Right. Or you went in with low expectations and so you ended up liking it, but even though it was like a bad movie.
Yeah, you weren't expecting Citizen Kane or anything like that.
Like Rochelle.
Right, exactly.
So we had a pretty busy weekend. So Friday night we took the family to Miller Outdoor Theater and saw As You Like It, which is a Shakespeare play, and so it's like free. You just like sit out on the lawn, took a picnic, and then like just snacked. Got some popcorn from the stands and just did that. So we got home like really late, and then the kids were like exhausted the next day, so they like slept in, which is also nice. And then me and my wife napped on the couch, and then Saturday night one of my former coworkers every year kind of hosts like a house party at her place. So we went to that. Before we did that, we went to dinner at like one of the Houston Restaurant Weeks. We went to this place called The Blind Goat. Are you familiar with this?
Nope.
So have you ever watched MasterChef?
No, I know of what you speak, but I've never watched it.
Okay, so there was one contestant who's from Houston and she's blind.
Okay.
And she like cooked on the show, like yeah. So she was like,
I'm so used to hearing cook in that connotation of like, man, he was really. They let him cook on this.
Oh man, she cooked. Well, she actually cooked. She ended up winning she won the competition. But it's like a Vietnamese restaurant, so we went there. And we actually ended up like we tried not to make a big scene, but the chef was like sitting at the table next to us, like sampling dishes, and so like that was cool. And my wife was like trying not to fangirl over it. So we did that, and then today
was it like her Keith Hernandez, like when Jerry met?
Yeah, basically. She was at Game 6.
She was at that restaurant.
Yeah. So that was really good. And then today I sent you a picture from an album that I decided to revisit because
oh gosh, yeah.
The comedy podcast that I listened to, I don't remember how it came up, but the song Ball with the Ball came up, and one guy was like, that first album was good, and everybody else was like, no, dude, it's not. That album was not good. And so I was like, I'm going to go back and re-listen to this, and I went back and re-listened to it. I was like, okay, this album still is good. I
just remember that it was something completely different for the time, right? It was like, because that was like 99, 98, 99, somewhere around there.
It was 99 because like that was the same year The Real Slim Shady came out.
Yeah. And I remember the MTV Awards that year he performed, and I just remember that performance being like really good.
He does put on a good show. Like one things that like I remember with him, and this was like a few years later because we were in college. Me and my roommate were watching some like award show, and they were like, maybe it wasn't an award show, but it was like a history of like. Maybe like a celebration of hip hop music. And so they were having DJs come on, like Jazzy Jeff was on there. They were bringing different guys out spinning, and then they like spin around and Kid Rock is there. And he just like tore up like the ones that he was actually like one of the most amazing DJs I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, I was not expecting that.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I vaguely remember.
But I can't. I've tried to find it on YouTube like so many times that I've never been able to find that specific clip. Like I found clips of him doing DJ stuff at shows, but never that specific one. But yeah, that album that album's still good, and the Cowboy song still rips.
Where is that in relation to like Limp Bizkit? Limp Bizkit's around the same time, right?
It's about the same time. I want to say it was slightly ahead of Limp Bizkit because I feel like I was in high school when Limp Bizkit was like really big, and
the Chocolate Starfish album that was like early 2000s.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Korn. I think Korn was also out around 99. Yeah, Korn was out 99, sure. But I feel like Limp Bizkit was like slightly after that.
Freak on a Leash, I want to say was.
Yeah. Whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's.
Did you? There was one time for sure. There's one song on that album that actually has Eminem on it. There's like a song on the Kid Rock album with Eminem on it. Yeah, it's the title is not family friendly. We'll say.
Okay, fair enough. I wouldn't imagine it was.
most of that album is not family friendly. Oh man, I'm trying to pull up a. So that's about it for me. But what did you get up to? And while you do that, I'm going to try to get the discography from Limp Bizkit up here.
Yeah, 1 second. Just reposting our tweet there. Okay, so rounded out July from a movie perspective, watching a 3.5-hour epic, Once Upon a Time in America, with stars Robert De Niro and James Woods. It's directed by Sergio Leone, who is also the director of Once Upon a Time in the West. It's a wonderful film. I had started it probably a couple months ago, and just couldn't get past the first 15 or 20 minutes. But this time around, once I did, like it's the time really flies. It's about, so De Niro plays this when the movie starts, he's on the run, and it fast forwards 30 years or 50, 20, 30 years, and he comes back to his hometown, and he's kind of reliving the past. So you see him as a kid, and then like it's kind of one of these coming of age stories. It's really good. I would highly recommend it. I mean, like I said, it's 3.5 hours, but don't let that intimidate you. I think it's on. Where did I watch it on? I watched it on Hulu, maybe Disney Plus or Hulu. It should be
one of those.
One of those. Then, so we went to my mom's in Louisiana this weekend because my daughters had spent the week with her last week. So we went. We had spent some time with her. Had a good visit with her and my sister. And so I didn't watch any films first 3 days of August. Didn't watch anything. And then decided to start August, my first film of August, with the film that you recommended last week, Tragedy of Macbeth.
How'd you like it, Paul?
I liked it. I really did. I thought upon my initial watch, was really blown away by Denzel. No surprise there.
Mm-hmm.
The Catherine Hunter who played the witches and the old man, phenomenal.
She is my favorite part of that, just because of the way that she like changes the voices to like give the appearance of 3, 2 is like incredible.
I didn't have any problem with Frances McDormand as Lady Macbeth.
Yeah, I thought she was fine.
But then I listened to when I was done, I listened to a podcast kind of talking about the movie, and they didn't like her performance.
Huh.
But I thought it was. I mean, it wasn't the strongest part of the film, but it was.
No.
And I'm not a Shakespearean scholar by any means. Like I know Macbeth. I know the basic story. I will say the guy who played what's his name? Is it Riggs? Not Riggs. We're gonna have a Travis Meadows situation going on.
It's happening.
It's happening. Shout
Was
out
it
to-
Banquo?
No, Ross.
Okay.
You know who Ross is? He's kind of like he's almost like he kind of sneaks around. He kind of plays both sides.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I never remember his name. But he was in he's got like the beard and like he's the one that gives the bad news to Macduff about his family being slaughtered. He was in the Cowboy Bebop TV show, like the live action, which was pretty rough.
But anyway, the actor who played him, the whole time, to me he looked like, I don't know if you remember the soccer player Clint Dempsey.
Yeah,
who played for the.
He looked like East Texas from Nacogdoches, by the way.
From Nacogdoches, yep.
Absolutely. Don't tread.
No. All respect to Clint Dempsey.
Are you familiar with the song?
Don't tread.
Don't tread.
No.
Clint Dempsey has a rap song called "Don't Tread."
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Man
see,
of many talents.
I've enlightened you now.
Yeah, I've been enlightened.
I'll have to send. I'll send that over to you.
Oh, I'm expecting a tweet, or a text. Okay, so then continued on with. Oh, actually, before I get to the Criterion Challenge, watch the Naked Gun, not the new one.
The original.
The original, because I do want to go see the new one, but I just.
So I've heard that the new one is actually fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I'm optimistic based on what I'm hearing. But man, the original. I don't know how long it's been since you've seen the original.
It's been a long time.
It's on Paramount. I watched it on Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus.
So I'm going to sign up I'm signing up for Paramount Plus, I think, this month, so I can go back to watching Italian soccer.
Okay.
So I'll put that on the list for this.
Watch all 3 Naked Gun films are on Paramount Plus right now.
Oh, there we go.
But yeah, man, this first one is just chef's kiss. It's phenomenal. They don't make them like this anymore, for sure.
Well, they remake them like this anymore.
They remake them. But yeah, it's just what a wonderful way to spend an hour and a half just watching Frank Drebin Sr., I guess now, because Liam Neeson is Frank Drebin Jr. Okay, so for the Criterion Challenge, I did knock out 3 more movies on this. So the first category here, this is from Andrew Garfield's Closet Pick. So you've heard of the Criterion Closet? It's like this. So
someone gets to choose one to go into the closet?
No. So they go into, like in this case, Andrew Garfield, they do this on social media. They'll go into a closet that has all the Criterion Collection DVDs, and they'll actually go through and pick what they want. So one of his picks was this movie called Happiness. It's from 1998. Speaking of like late 90s, this movie. Well, here, hold on. Let me. I meant to have this ready, so I apologize. Just give me a second. So I'm going to read to you the late great Roger Ebert. His part of his review for this film. Just to give you an idea, this is a movie directed by Todd Solondz. It's in 1998. It stars Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's kind of an ensemble cast, but he's probably the most well known of those in the movie. Actually, I thought there was a Seinfeld connection here. Oh, John Lovitz is in. So John Lovitz was in Seinfeld. Yeah, so there you go. There's your. I'm looking for. Okay. Roger Ebert gave the film 4 out of 4 stars, rated it number 5 in his top 10 films in 98. In his review, he wrote, quote, "The depraved are only seeking what we all seek, but with a lack of ordinary moral vision. In a film that looks into the abyss of human despair, there is the horrifying suggestion that these characters may not be grotesque exceptions, but may in fact be part of the mainstream of humanity. It is not a film for most people. It is certainly for adults only, but it shows Todd Solondz as a filmmaker who deserves attention, who hears the unhappiness in the air and seeks its sources. So
they were watching. They must have been watching that Bears Cowboys game.
Actually, now that you mention it, what were the Cowboys up to in '98? Were
they were on the way down? That's for sure.
On the way down.
Yeah.
That's a shame. So I'm not going to say I recommend the movie, but I will say some of the subject matter is tough. So just know that going in. There's some. Is
it a Manchester by the Sea type situation?
It's not that kind of tough. It's more like what I just read from Ebert's review. Like some of the people in this movie are depraved, and and it's like, I don't.
So they're like the Seinfeld characters.
Yeah, but like amp it up a little. Well, actually, that's funny because watching it, I was like, you watch Family Guy? Did you?
So I watched the old ones growing up. I don't watch it anymore.
So, you know how in Family Guy sometimes they would kind of get almost to an uncomfortable level with the humor?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this movie is like that, but there's no humor sometimes. Like they just go to a place where it's like, oh, they're not doing this for laughs. They're like,
so it's
real.
Dark.
Yeah, dark. So now there are some funny moments in the movie. I'll say that, but it's definitely I would definitely classify this as a dark comedy, black comedy, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Then from the 1940s, I apologize to you already for this. I watched a movie called The Philadelphia Story. That has nothing to do with the Eagles.
It has nothing to do with Tom Hanks?
Has nothing to do with Tom Hanks. It does star Jimmy Stewart and Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn. Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn play ex-spouses. Catherine Hepburn. Catherine Hepburn is getting remarried, and she's kind of this socialite type. So her wedding is like a big deal in society. Uh-huh. And Jimmy Stewart and his coworker, I can't remember her name. I got to look it up, but because she was phenomenal in the movie. Jimmy Stewart and his coworker are tasked with going to the wedding, and it's Ruth Hussey plays Jimmy Stewart's coworker or whatever you want to say. They're tasked with going to the wedding and getting a story because, again, Catherine Hepburn is getting remarried. And Cary Grant assists them, like kind of lies for them to get them into the wedding, like to be able to go to the wedding. And then it ends up becoming this kind of like love triangle type thing. So there's Catherine Hepburn, there's her fiance that she's about to marry, there's Cary Grant, who's her ex-husband, and then there's Jimmy Stewart, who's this guy who she thinks is Mary. Yeah. This is probably the first film with Jimmy Stewart I've seen that's not It's a Wonderful Life. And
what about You never saw Rear Window?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I did. Of course, I watched it last week. We talked about it last week.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that Paul has mentioned Rear Window on here, unless you watched the remake.
Oh God, no! The Christopher Lloyd one. That one was not Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Reeves. Jeez, Christopher Lloyd would have been bad.
Marty, we gotta look out the window.
Look out the window, Marty. But no, Philadelphia Story. It's a classic romantic comedy. I would recommend it. It's on Tubi right now, so it's free for those that want to.
Well, you know what I think of the title.
I know it. I know what you think of it. And then the last one for my Criterion Challenge this week. Have you heard of Celine Song? The director Celine Song?
I've heard of Celine Dion's songs, but I've not heard.
Okay.
Unless her middle name is Dion. No.
Another bullseye. No, Celine Song directed a movie I talked about probably a month or two ago, Past Lives, and she directed a movie this year called Materialists, which I have not seen yet.
I read something in there because they talk about salary or something, and that was a big deal.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I read an article in the New York Times about it.
I know it's not performing as well as people were upset because they felt like what they were promised in the movie is not what they got.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, so
there wasn't enough materialism.
I guess not. But anyway, she has a top 10 that she did for Criterion, and the movie I selected from that top 10 was The Age of Innocence. So this is our buddy Daniel Day-Lewis, our beloved Daniel Plainview.
He's an oil man. He's an oil man.
So this is him starring in a movie directed by Martin Scorsese, who you may have heard of. But it's a period piece. So it's like...
I'm a mafia man.
No, it's not that kind of... That's the thing. This is like... It's like very much...
You asked me about my business.
It's very much not Scorsese. It's directed by Scorsese, but it's not very much not Scorsese. This is not Goodfellas. This is not Casino. This is not The Departed. This is not that kind of movie.
As far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to be an oil man.
It's getting there, buddy.
It's good. I'm workshopping it.
Keep workshopping. But this stars. So he plays. I forget his character's name, but he is engaged to Winona Ryder. But he falls in love with Winona Ryder's cousin, who is played by Michelle Pfeiffer.
Ooh. Well, I can understand that.
Who
among us?
But this is from 1993. So Scorsese did Goodfellas, Cape Fear, and then he did this movie, which is like now for something completely different, right?
And now for something completely different.
And then after this, he does Casino, which is kind of going back to his
back to the gangster stories.
Yeah, back to his roots. But the funny thing is, like watching this movie, you can tell it's a Scorsese movie, just be kind of like the feel of it. But it's just the subject matter is not Scorsese. Like it's just.
Did you see Megalopolis?
No, that's Francis Ford Coppola's.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong.
The last thing Martin Scorsese
Mafia
did,
guy.
I believe. The last thing Martin Scorsese did, I believe, was Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Leo. I have not seen that either.
I haven't seen that. Very long.
That's another 3.5 hour commitment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a week's worth of watching for me.
So so this film is set in 1870. In the 1870s, Daniel Day-Lewis plays a lawyer, and he is planning a society marriage to Winona Ryder's character, but Michelle Pfeiffer's character comes back to New York after she's divorced some Polish aristocrat, and like it just goes from there. So definitely a strong Daniel Day-Lewis performance. I probably wouldn't put it. I mean, it's not Daniel Plainview by any means, but I would recommend it if you have some time.
So an update: Limp Bizkit was actually their first album. Actually came out in '97.
Oh, okay.
And their second one, Significant Other, came out in '99. So
97 was Chocolate Starfish?
No, Chocolate Starfish was their third album.
Oh, okay.
Significant. I feel like I remember Significant Other. Oh yes, I know this.
Which album was My Way?
Nookie was on Significant Other.
Which album was My Way?
My Way.
That had to be
that. Yeah, that's on Chocolate Starfish.
Huh, that's weird. Because okay. What year did Chocolate Starfish come out?
That was 2000. So it was like the year after.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it was pretty soon after.
The reason I remember is because WWF used My Way in a package for WrestleMania 17, which was 2001. And Limp Bizkit, I think, at that WrestleMania played The Undertaker to the ring because he was using one of their songs as his entrance music at the time. So,
The Undertaker.
Yeah, this is when he wasn't dead. Like, he wasn't a dead guy. He was like a biker badass or whatever.
Paul, I have good news.
Okay, go ahead.
The Rangers have defeated the Yankees 2-0.
I don't know what made me just think about this. When I was at the Astros game last weekend, or not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I told one of my friends, I said I wanted to yell out, "What the hell you trade Kyle Tucker for?"
There you go.
You got a rocket phone on.
Speaking, you sent me that the Jason Alexander post
Oh yeah,
from the Astros.
Did you see the caption?
Yeah, but I feel like you
Makes
need
no sense. Yeah,
I know you need a George quote for that, not a.
So for the folks listening,
They all got bread. Everybody else got bread for free. Although I don't know if that translates.
That doesn't work either.
No.
So for those listening, the Astros have a pitcher by the name of Jason Alexander, who is the actor who played George Costanza.
He's not the actor who played.
He's
George
not the same.
Costanza.
Well, he has the same.
He has
name,
the same name.
Fair enough. That's a good clarification. Thank you. Jason Alexander, the pitcher for the Astros, shares the name with the actor who played George Costanza. So he had a good game against the Marlins where he went like 6 innings and gave up didn't walk anybody, gave up 1 hit or something like that. And so the Astros put on social media a picture of him with his stat line and the caption, "No soup for you." But as Brandon just mentioned, like, that's not George's line, that's the soup Nazi. So
right,
if the pitcher's name was Yev Kasim, then
that would have worked.
Or I can't remember
whoever the actor's
I can't remember
name
the actor
was
who played him. It's good. Yeah. So anyway,
you're pushing your luck, little man.
Pushing your luck, little man. So where are the Yankees are 6 games back in the division now. Wow. Where are the Rangers and the Rangers only a half game back of the Yankees for the wild card.
They've actually, they had that. They lost 3 out of 4 to Seattle over the weekend, but they were, I think, like the first game was like they lost 6-0, but then like 2 of their other losses were like 1-run games, so it was like very close, and it was in Seattle.
Yeah.
So
should also mention the Astros welcome back Carlos Correa.
Oh yeah, I saw somebody posted a fake, like they'll do like a fake quote thing with like a player, and it said I'm excited to know what pitches are coming again.
Well, they can't outrun those allegations.
Those jokes are never going away.
Yeah, man,
never.
Yeah, but he's been playing. So they traded for him right as Jeremy Pena was coming off the DL. So Correa is now playing third base with Pena at short. Altuve has been DHing with Alvarez.
Paredes, they're like, is their normal third baseman, right?
Yeah, but he's injured.
But how long is he out for? Was going to be my question. For like a while?
I think it's a while. Yes,
a while.
A while. Now I don't know. Now if he does come back, then that's great. I'm guessing he's out for a while. That's the reason they traded for Correa in the first place. Let's see here.
It's always funny because the Astros, like, their front office does not seem to be very original, because their entire game plan is like, well, why don't we just go trade for the guys that we used to have that were good? Because they do this with Justin Verlander too.
Yeah, that was my wife's. When I told my wife, "Hey, we traded for Correa," she's like, "Oh, they did the same thing with Verlander." Well, yeah, you're right.
Speaking of Mr. Verlander, things are not going well out in San Francisco.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Let's see. I wonder if he's like
Astros general manager Dana Brown said Monday that Paredes received a platelet-rich plasma injection for his strained right hamstring.
That's
the injury.
When you're injecting plasma into it, that's where you might as well send the kid to Germany to get the high-speed blood spinning thing going on.
Well, how do you know that's not where they?
I mean, that's how desperate Chandler Parsons was at one point.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. That's one of your favorites. That's one of your favorite stories, the Chandler Parsons thing.
Oh God,
yes,
Chandler
I mean the Astros.
Parsons.
So, like, if let's say Paredes comes back, they also have Mauricio Dubon. He can play the outfield. Christian Walker's at first base. He's not going anywhere. Altuve, obviously. My guess is if Paredes – no, so Paredes looks like it was second base, not third base.
So Justin Verlander has now notched one win.
Nice.
Just 37 more to go to hit 300.
Is he still married to Kate Upton?
As far as I know.
He's doing okay then.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's all right. He's good.
Who needs 300 wins?
Yeah, he's all right. All right, buddy. Any other
new backgammon with Al McPherson?
Oh, do you want to quickly talk about your guy, De'Aaron Fox, got paid?
Oh yeah, De'Aaron Fox is now signed I forgot to get the numbers, but he signed a big extension with the Spurs.
Yep.
So he is getting paid a lot of money. Luka Doncic also signed his extension with the Lakers, which sparked a lot of people talking about how LeBron wasn't there.
San Antonio Spurs star De'Aaron Fox agreed to a 4-year, $229 million maximum contract extension with the franchise.
That's quite a bit of money.
The max deal has no player option in the final year and secures Fox's future in San Antonio through 29-30 season. So there you go.
Paul, I forgot to mention the other day I had like a weird dream.
Oh boy.
It's about, so we were like getting ready to do the show.
Okay.
And so we were supposed to have on somebody from the Grizzlies, like their media branch, Grind City Media. So we were like actually having someone on from the show, and I was like, Paul, where are you? And I turned the camera on, and you're like working out really hard. And I was like, Paul, what are you doing? We gotta go. We're going live in like 5 minutes. and then you're like, hold on a sec. And then you started, and then you started throwing up blood. And I was like, and so I'm having to call the people from Grunt City Media. I'm like, we're not gonna be able to do the show today.
Hey, you said Grind City. I took it like, hey, I got to grind.
You were grinding too hard, Paul. Oh,
like
I forgot.
Like
I meant to bring this up. Like, I think I have it like having before last week's show, and I meant to bring it up, but I forgot. But for some reason, that just like clicked right now, and I was like, so,
I sent you a text or an Instagram post. It was a guy at the gym, and he had a sweatshirt on
that said Mandelbaum
Gym, and I texted it to you and said, "It's go time."
It's go time. That's right.
Grab your jock if you need one.
All right,
buddy. Do we want to start our divisional previews?
Yeah, let's get into it's time for the beasts of the East.
Sure. Yeah. So before we get into this, let's kind of talk through how we're going to do this. So we're going to do AFC and NFC East. We'll start with the AFC first. We are going to go in reverse order of finish from last season. We'll go through each team. We'll talk a little bit about it. I have mentioned this to you, Brandon, offline last week. I have placed a wager on our ReBet app, our friends over at ReBet, for each of the 32 teams, a futures bet. So as we go through each team, I will let you know what that is. We'll also talk about over-under. The over-under numbers that I'm quoting are from ReBet. So just keep that in mind. We are in the state of Texas. We cannot use FanDuel.
So ReBet is the official betting app of
of Bustin'
of this. Yes,
of us at least.
yeah.
Hey, ReBet, if you're listening, we're open for
We're
business.
willing to we're looking for sponsors.
We will repost the ReBet.
I should update as we do this. I should update that my bet for over 32.5 points at minus 122 cashed last week on the Hall of Fame game.
You texted me when it was like 21-7. You're like, if it stays this score, I'm going to be.
I'm going to be mad.
Yeah. Well, that's good for you, buddy. We get some more. Maybe we can talk about some preseason bets later here. All right, so we're going to start AFC East. Again, we're going in reverse order of finish last year. So we're going to start with the New England Patriots, who finished last place in the division in 2024. They were 4-13. Their over/under this year, according to ReBet, is 8.5. So obviously, some a little higher expectations. Part of the reason why offseason moves. So Gerard Mayo, he gone. We welcome in Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel returns to the NFL as head coach. Josh McDaniels comes in as the new offensive coordinator. I don't have down who their defensive coordinator is.
No, I can't.
I don't recall.
That's a good question.
They also bring in Milton Williams from the Philadelphia Eagles, Stephon Diggs, who's had a adventurous offseason, let's say, and then a Mike Vrabel favorite, Harold Landry from the Tennessee Titans.
So their defensive coordinator is Terrell Williams.
Williams.
Yeah.
From Detroit, I believe. I think he was with Detroit.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so as far as departures, they traded away Devon Gottschall to my Saints. They also lost Jonathan Jones, a cornerback who went to the Commanders, and Jacoby Brissett, the backup quarterback, who is now in Arizona as Kyler Murray's backup. So we'll talk about them in a couple weeks.
You're missing another big one.
Okay, remind me.
Mr. Backflip himself, Joe Milton.
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
I mean, you brought up, if you're going to bring up Jacoby Brissett.
Future Cowboy quarterback legend, Joe Milton, of course.
Maybe.
Of course. We'll see. Well, wait for that preseason game this weekend, buddy. When he's lighting up the Rams this weekend, you're going to be like, we're going to come back next week. And so with that in mind, actually, who is the backup quarterback? Oh, Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut. That's right.
Oh, yeah, the Pastronaut.
Forgot about him. In the draft, the Patriots kind of fortified their offensive line. Will Campbell in the first round. Jared Wilson out of Georgia was a mid-round pick. And they also brought in Travion Henderson, running back, who I know you were high on.
Big fan of him, big fan of that draft pick, and I think he's going to fit well in this offense.
Their running back room's pretty good. Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, Antonio Gibson, who had
former Memphis Tiger,
right? Former Commander as well. So at receiver, you're looking at Diggs. You got Demario Douglas, Mac Hollins comes over from Buffalo, I believe. Kendrick Bourne, I believe, is currently dealing with an injury. They also brought in Kyle Williams in the draft out of Washington State, who was high on a lot of people's lists. I think the big key for them – let me real quick talk about their schedule. So the AFC East is actually appropriate. So the AFC and NFC East will play each other this year. The AFC East will also play the AFC North, so not ideal, as that's probably one of the better divisions in football. For the Patriots, because they finished last place, their 3 extra games are against the Titans, the Raiders, and the Giants. So keep, as we'll go through, and we'll go through records and all that here, record predictions here in a second. But so that's probably part of the reason why that 8.5 number exists for them. I
will say, so I have a bet on them to go over the 8.5. I got it at plus 115 on ReBet. It is now down to minus 101.
I was going to say it's probably even. It's probably even money now.
Yeah, it's gotten down.
Get some juice.
Some juice. So I feel pretty good about that.
So my Patriots bet. Now you and I talked about this offline last week. So on ReBet, there's two different categories. There's from the Patriots' perspective, what place will they finish in the division? So for them, I got at plus 470, first place division finish for the New England Patriots. So I put 100 coins down on that. But then, separate to that, there is an AFC East division winner category. And that, for the Patriots, was plus 510. Now, you and I were talking about, like, wow, what's the difference? And my only thought would be, it's technically the Patriots and Bills could both have the same record, but the Bills win the division because of a tiebreaker or whatever. So in that scenario,
they're technically both first.
They're both first, so you win the first bet, but you don't win the second one. No.
Right.
So I went ahead and put 100 coins down on both of those. So the Patriots are definitely in the discussion. I know a lot of people are high on them. I started to think, and I think I've brought this up on the show, I started to think this team, and there's another team that we'll talk about next week in the NFC, that are kind of getting to this range of, if they don't make the playoffs this year, it's a disappointment, which is odd to say for a team that only won 4 games last year.
I know which team you're talking about in the NFC too.
Right. Yeah, I know you do. I did want to bring up, you brought up our love for the Drake.
I don't even like Drake.
You don't like the Drake?
I hate the Drake.
I love the Drake.
How could you not like the Drake?
Who's the Drake?
Who's the Drake?
The Drake is good.
The Drake is good, Paul. That's the official stance of the show.
Okay, the Drake is good, but I would like to quote here from Warren Sharp on Twitter, who provides some good statistical data here. I had it, now I lost it. Where is it? There we go. So have you heard of this quarterback formula developed by Saints coaching legend Sean Payton?
I have not.
So basically what it is percent of dropbacks that result in a sack, fumble, or interception. So low scores are better. It's like golf. So to give you some context here, the best percentage in the NFL last year was 4.6%. That was Josh Allen, who won MVP. Ironically, Derek Carr was 5.4%, which that shocked me, but
so
whatever.
So that didn't help.
No, didn't help. Bo Nix was 6.1%. So, we'll talk about the Broncos in a couple weeks. So maybe some. Oh, dang it! I just lost it. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is because our boy Drake, was 4 from the bottom. His percentage was 12.7. Now, obviously, limited time, but here are the 3 quarterbacks with a worse percentage than him. Gardner Minshew, Deshaun Watson, and bless them boys' favorite, Will Levis.
Now we should also talk about this, because like one of the things that we talked about going into the offseason, we knew that they had to fix it, and one of the things that they've emphasized over the offseason has been improving the offensive line.
Right.
Now, they've also, one of the other things they did was, do you remember who his receivers were last year?
True.
Because he was throwing he was throwing to Booty. And I mean that, and that was the player's name, and also a good description of what their pass catchers looked like.
Kayshon Booty.
Yeah, Kayshon Booty and a whole lot of other Booty. Hunter Henry was probably their best pass catcher, and that when your best pass catcher is your tight end, you're probably not in a good situation. I think they've added juice to the backfield in Henderson, and I'm not saying I don't necessarily know that they're going to be world beaters from an offensive line standpoint, but they did a lot to address it, and I think with the other improvements that they've made, they've got who was their offensive coordinator last year? Was it still that's another question.
Yeah, it was not good. Hang on, I got it right.
It wasn't Butt Chin, was it? Bill O'Brien?
No, it was Alex Van Pelt. Bill O'Brien's at Boston College. He's the head coach.
Okay. I couldn't remember if he could come back to the NFL. But
Alex, don't call me Scott Van Pelt.
So I think they've got someone who, as bad as Josh McDaniels, who is the offensive version of your boy Dennis Allen.
I knew exactly where you were about to go.
Yeah, who actually will know how to run a competent offense with these guys. I think he's going to be in better hands as well. And so, I'm a little just having competence from the top down. I think makes a big difference. Plus, what they did in the offseason, plus any internal development that you get from the Drake. I think that number was bad, but I think there were also a lot of mitigating factors that kind of contributed to that aren't necessarily
absolutely.
Like a lot of times sacks are on the quarterback, and that we watched them play against the Jets in that bar, and who was it that was the quarterback? That was Brissett. That was pre-Drake, and every time Brissett tried to drop back, he had no time against the Jets.
And to be fair, the Jets' pass rush is legit. They're not a bad pass rush. Real quick, do you want? So here are your 5 leading receivers in terms of yards for the Patriots last year. Hunter Henry at 674, Demario Douglas at 621, Kayshon Boutte at 589, Austin Hooper at 476, and Kendrick Bourne at 305.
The Bourne ultimatum.
So, and their leading rusher was Stevenson, and he didn't have 900. He had 801. So Drake May was the 3rd leading rusher on this team last year.
Yeah. See,
I'm high on them. We'll get to. So what I want to do is we'll preview all 4 teams, and then we'll go through our predictions for finishing.
Okay, because I've got my record pulled up here.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that at the end after we preview all 4 teams. But anything else on the Patriots? So what we want to kind of talk about? I think are you worried about Diggs being a distraction? I think Vrabel's going to have it under control.
If there's anybody who can manage it, outside of Mike Tomlin or something, would be I think Vrabel's probably got the ability to do it. And what's his contract length there? It's not a long term deal.
It's basically a. If they, I don't know if they can get rid of him after the season, but I don't think it's
it's a 3-year deal. But I don't know, what are the odds that they can just get out? There's only $16 million fully guaranteed. That's nothing, basically. Okay. It's $60 million, but his guaranteed money is.
And they have caps. They usually have. I know this season, this offseason, they went into the offseason. Their thing is going to be if the Drake does progress like we think he's going to, and he becomes a top
10, even top half, top 10, 15.
Oh, but that's the other thing. I need to go through my rank. I did my rankings. We'll do that in a second. But if he does become a top 10 quarterback, rookie contract, you got to strike while the iron's hot. So you got to get the guys in there. The Commanders are finding this out with Daniels. But I want to talk about their schedule real quick. We won't do their predicted win-losses right now, but
so Spotrac has it as the Patriots can get out of this after 1 year.
Okay, so there you go. I found this interesting about their schedule. So they have a stretch starting in week 5. They have 3 road games in a row, which is unusual. However, the 3 road games are at Buffalo on a Sunday night, at New Orleans, and then at Tennessee, and then they come back home last Sunday in October for Cleveland. So that's, while on paper that may look daunting, the teams they're playing, aside from Buffalo, not terrible. Their toughest stretch, I think, just looking at it here, they do play teams like Tampa and Cincinnati. They're playing the AFC North, but they don't play Baltimore until week 16. They play Pittsburgh early, week 3. So they kind of get this spread out. They don't like they start off home Vegas and at Miami, and then home Pittsburgh, home Carolina. So that feels manageable.
Playing against the NFC South, like they've got some like manageable games in there where you can like if you're able to just like beat the teams that you're like kind of favored against, then you should be okay. Like if you can pick up a couple more, like win one that you maybe weren't favored in.
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect them to come into New Orleans week 6 and win. I mean, barring like injuries or whatnot. And of course, Stephon Diggs loves playing the Saints. Going back to the Minneapolis Miracle days. Okay, so for rankings, let me just real quick go through this. So I went ahead and ranked the teams, the coach, and the quarterback, the starting quarterback. So for the Patriots, I have them 18th out of 32. The Drake, I have 22 out of 32. I had them a little higher at first, but then I was like, well, I'm going to try to
prove it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to update this every week. So I fully expect, even maybe after week 1, that he's closer to the top half. And then for Vrabel, for the coach, I have him 7th, just because I just think Vrabel's a great coach, but I can't put him up. I try to. You're not going to like it when we get to the Eagles, I think, but I tried to.
Oh boy!
Well, I tried to like give leeway to quarterbacks / coaches that have won Super Bowls or been to Super Bowls. Like Vrabel hasn't been to a Super Bowl, and I know that's like
by this metric, we're making Joe Flacco as elite.
Oh no! He's an exception. No.
Well,
let me hang on. Let me make sure I didn't. No, Flacco. I do have Flacco. Spoiler alert! I do have Flacco below the Drake. I mean, I have to use some like eye test. I mean, like.
Well, we don't, as we say.
No disrespect.
Well, I don't know how official any of these rankings really are.
That's true. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for reminding us of that, Jerry. All right. Anything else on the Patriots before we move on here?
No, let's get to the Jets, Jets.
All right. Do you want to roll through their offseason?
Yeah, their offseason moves. So they brought in Aaron Glenn as head coach after Robert Saleh was tossed. They signed Justin Fields to replace Mr. Aaron Rodgers. They brought in linebacker Jamien Sherwood, or re-signed him. They signed cornerback Brandon Stevens. Shout out to my fellow Brandon. Departures, obviously the former Green Bay duo of Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, cornerback DJ Reed, and defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw. They in the draft they added Armand Mimbu. He's a Mel Bimbu. He's a Mimbu. Yep. And Mason Taylor. So their 2025 non-division schedule includes the AFC North and the NFC South, and then the Jaguars, Broncos, and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. So by virtue of finishing 5-12 in 2024, they get the third place schedule because they finished third place in the division. Their over-under this year is 5.5.
Yep.
Yeah. So Jaguars, Broncos, Cowboys are kind of their 3 extra games. So that's a little. I mean, so let's talk about this. So the Patriots get Titans, Raiders, Giants, and the Jets get Jags, Broncos, Cowboys. Like that feels unfair almost, but it is what it is. So we've obviously Justin Fields already had an injury scare with his
Well, it sounded like it looked like it was a season-ending thing, and then it turns out to just be a toe injury, which I think we were. Right. And this also happened with the Cowboys' Tyler Guyton. It's like it's an ACL, and then it's not an ACL, and this was I think they thought it was an Achilles. Am I right?
Yeah, they thought. Well, because here's the thing. So when the injury happened, he got carted off. So obviously you're expecting the worst, but as I heard Tom Pelissero talk about on Rich Eisen's show, when at training camp, some of these camps, the field is like
forever. It's like
yards,
way away from the
building.
medical stuff.
So if a guy has a lower injury, no matter how insignificant, you don't want him walking that distance. So you're going to cart him off. Just
right.
So, but yeah, he's wearing a plastic something or other to help right now. I do know, I saw today Tyrod Taylor, his backup, had some kind of a knee issue in practice. I saw Aaron Glenn talking about that. So it'll be interesting to see if Fields, I mean, this is really his last chance, right? As far as a starting job goes.
I would think so. He can probably bounce around the league as a backup like a lot of guys do. And maybe he could have like a Geno Smith sort of career arc if this doesn't work out. Like you see guys, you've seen guys more recently be able to eventually, like Sam Bradford was another one. Baker Mayfield was in like 5 different spots before he finally found Tampa Bay. So maybe eventually, I did see, like, I was looking up news reports and it seemed like, both Aaron Glenn and other coaches were trying to say, I don't think things have looked great at training camp right now. And so they're trying to make sure that people don't panic about this. Cause I guess Fields probably had some time off for the injury. And so he's trying it's,
and the thing I've always heard about training camps is defenses are always ahead of offenses.
Right.
And the Jets defense, as we mentioned earlier, is pretty good. Like, it's one of the better ones in the league, or should be. And now with Aaron Glenn as a defensive coach, you would think that makes it. They did bring in Tanner Edgerton as the offensive coordinator. He follows Aaron from Detroit. So we'll see what goes on there. Do you want to know who the 3rd and 4th string quarterbacks are for the New York Jets right now?
Tim Boyle.
No, Tim's on. Tim Boyle's with Tennessee. He's backing up Cam Ward, I believe. No, we got Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook.
Yeah, I know who those guys are. Obviously.
One thing I will say for one possible strength for the Jets, Breece Hall looks like he might be a guy. He looked pretty good.
I mean, he's flashed some.
He's flashed a little bit. I'm pulling up his numbers. He had 876 yards rushing last year. Braylon Allen, 334. And then I think a big question for them, or at least for me, is who's receiver 2? So we know
Garrett Wilson signed a contract this offseason too. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think Garrett Wilson is kind of developed into that guy who he's not a CeeDee Lamb. He's not a Justin Jefferson. He kind of is he's kind of what Brandon Cooks was, in that he's maximum a 1B guy, but he's never going to be that sort of alpha receiver that you kind of wanted him to be. So they kind of need somebody else to kind of develop opposite him to take pressure off of him.
Their receiver depth chart right now, you got Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, Malachi Corley. Sorry, Malachi. I don't know what I'm saying.
You said that Malachi poorly.
Yeah, yes, I did. So Mason Taylor, we talked about, they drafted him, but he's dealing with, I believe, an ankle injury. It's going to keep him out a couple weeks. Their backup is Jeremy Ruckert, who they drafted, I think, out of Ohio State last year. One thing, we mentioned them drafting Mimbo. So they're kind of in a similar situation as the Saints are, in that they've invested on this offensive line. They had drafted Fashanu last year, now Mimbu this year. They have Joe Tipton at center, who's, I think, going to be pretty good. They've got Elijah Vera Tucker at right guard, John Simpson at left guard. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm hoping that this should be a strength for us.
Let me ask you this: what's the over under on how long until Alan Lazard is with the Steelers?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, first game of the season is Jets Steelers.
Can I bet on Alan Lazard to the Steelers?
Defensively for these guys, I mean, their defensive line, like I said, one of the best in the NFL. Will McDonald, Quinnen Williams, Jermaine Johnson. Actually, I think Jermaine Johnson might be out for the. Is he on IR? No, he's on the PUP list. He's on the PUP list with Achilles right now. Sauce Gardner, in the defensive backfield. Brandon Stevens, who he talked about, they signed. This team's going to be feisty, I think. I know 5.5. It's going to be tough, and that actually leads me into my wager for them. So I'm going to look at their schedule. Here's their first 5 games, their schedule. They host the Steelers. They host the Bills. They go to Tampa. They go to Miami, and they host your Dallas Cowboys. So not easy by any means. So my wager for them was 1 win in the first 5 weeks, and I got that at plus 230. I do think they can beat the Dolphins in Miami. We'll talk about the Dolphins here in a second. They might be able to steal one from – they might be able to steal one from Pittsburgh, maybe. It depends. But Rodgers is going to come out.
It's a double revenge game.
Right. It's Fields, and Rodgers. So we'll see.
I saw somebody posted a training camp clip of Aaron Rodgers doing some passing drills, and dude did not look very spry.
Well, that's a shame. How's his wife? Have we met his wife yet?
No, but I heard something about his sister-in-law who was telling him to take a contract or something, and
Well,
no.
So
this is all just made up.
Yeah, we're just flying by the seat of our pants here, folks. Anything more on the JETS Jets? Shout out to our guy from this podcast is Make Me Thirsty, Chris.
Yep.
Shout out to him. By the way, but that just reminded me. Go check out this podcast and Make Me Thirsty. They interviewed Larry Charles.
Ooh.
One of the big writers for Seinfeld, especially for the early years. Also worked on Curb, directed a little film called Borat.
Also was the stinky man in the bathroom.
He was the stinky man in the bathroom in the airplane episode. Yep. So go check them out. Anything else on the Jets?
No, I think it's time to head down to South Beach.
Yeah, let's go to Miami here. We'll talk about the Dolphins. Dolphins finished the 2024 season. I totally forgot that they finished 8-9 until I started doing this. Their over-under is 8.5. So we'll start with so no real coaching changes. McDaniels is back, or McDaniel. Yeah.
With a nice hot chair to sit on.
His chair is pretty toasty. So they signed James Daniels, guard, Kadir Koho, corner, who is now on IR, actually. Safety, Melifonwu. Apologies, I probably butchered that.
The Melifonwu was good. I don't know how to they went pretty heavy on guys whose names are difficult to pronounce here. Kader Kohu and Ifitu Melifonwu.
So when I was going through this and I was writing down all the signings, I did the first pass through and I totally forgot about Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is the backup quarterback for the Dolphins now.
Broncos legend.
BYU legend. Hide your moms.
Yeah.
Some departures here for the Dolphins. Javon Holland, Calais Campbell, Robert Jones, Saints legend Teron Armstead, retired.
Good old Calais Campbell still
he's still
out there.
Where did he end up?
Still cashing in checks, baby.
Where did he end up?
That's a good question.
Where's our guy?
Yeah,
I'm sure
you keep going. I'll look him up.
In the draft, I thought they had a pretty good draft, actually. So Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Miami. Jonah Savanaia, who's a guard tackle from Arizona, who I kind of wanted the Saints to draft, honestly. Ollie Gordon, running back from Oklahoma State, and then your guy, Quinn Ewers, who I don't know if you've heard, but a lot of good talk coming out of Dolphins camp about Mr. Ewers. So who knows? We'll see what that entails. We mentioned injuries. So Coho, who they signed, is already on IR. Artie Burns, who's their other corner, is on IR. Austin Jackson, who I believe is their starting guard, he is not on IR. It looks like he'll be back for week 1, but he is dealing with a injury, and I apologize. I don't know the specific injury, but did you find our guy Calais?
Calais Campbell has made his triumphant return to the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay, that's where I thought he was, but I didn't know for sure. So non-division schedule. So obviously, like everybody else in the division, they're playing the North, AFC North, and NFC South. They get a second place schedule, so they get the Colts, the Chargers, and the Commanders. And that Commanders game is in Spain. That's the
España,
which leads me into their schedule. They've got this this weird stretch where they have technically 4 home games in a row with a bye in between there. But one of those home games, quote unquote, is the Spain game against Washington. So they have week 9, they host on a Thursday night Baltimore. Week 10, they host Buffalo. Week 11, they go to Spain to play Washington. They have their bye, and then they come back the last Sunday in November and host the Saints before going to – they got a 2-game road trip at New York, at the Jets, at the Steelers, and then come back Cincinnati and Tampa. We've talked about this team a little bit during the offseason, Brandon. I am not – this team, this is not my kind of team.
I'm not enthused.
I mean, listen, I hope Tua stays healthy all year because I think if he does, that at least makes this team interesting, at least makes them –
That's the only way they go over is if he stays healthy. And, like, I have – like, what faith would you have that he's going to stay healthy given his history?
Here's their – now, listen, on paper, I mean, Devon Achane at running back showed some signs last year. Their wide receivers, man, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Westbrook Akine from Tennessee. I mean, on paper, now they had to sign Darren Waller out of retirement to play tight end, but, you know, is what it is. Their offensive line, obviously, I've mentioned Austin Jackson, who's on their depth chart as their right tackle. He's out. Looks like their center, Aaron Brewer, is questionable right now, according to ESPN. They have Patrick Paul, who they drafted out of U of H at left tackle.
So I bet the under on this at -134, under 8.5.
What is it now?
It is -186.
So
pretty.
So my wager for the Dolphins was 4th place finish in the AFC East at +228.
Okay.
I could probably look to see what it is right now on ReBet. They just look like a team, and I feel, I don't know if this makes me feel better, but I was listening to, because I had been talking this way, like when you and I first started talking about the season, I was like, man, I don't think the Dolphins are going to be it.
Neither of us is very high on them, I don't think.
Yeah, well, but then I was listening to Bill Simmons, and he was talking about them finishing last, and I was like, okay, well, at least now obviously Bill is, you know, I'm not saying he's Nostradamus, but I at least felt like, oh, okay, it's not just me. Like there are people who think.
So the thing with the Dolphins is, like, for them to be like really good is they have this very fine needle to thread because the offense is so specific. Tua has to, like, you've seen when Tua's not there, like other teams are able to put it together and like win some games when their starting quarterback's not there. When Tua's out, like the entire thing just like collapses. It's like a house of cards, and once Tua's not there, And so like they've had this very narrow window to success. And like if anything goes off, like what I don't see, I haven't there's been nothing that they've done in the offseason that's made me think that they've fortified those to like give them any sort of like safety net or margin for error with anything going wrong there.
Now, you mentioned this Sean Payton QB formula earlier. Tua's number last year, for what it's worth, was 8.2%, which was better than Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, certain quarterback that you're fond of that I won't mention. So I'm just
Joe Milton.
How'd you know? Another quarterback we'll talk about later who you're probably not as fond of. But I just bring that up just because, I mean, like, and look, we know Tua missed a lot of time because of injury, but I mean, yeah, that's what it's come down to. It's if Tua's healthy and he can operate the offense at an efficient level, they got a chance, but I just don't. And then their defense, I don't know how much better their defense is going to be either. They come out of the gate here at Indianapolis. That's not too bad. Home New England, at Buffalo, home Jets, at Carolina, home Chargers, at Cleveland. So, I mean, their schedule's not – they close out with at Pittsburgh, home Cincinnati, home Tampa, at New England. So that last four games are not great. They do get to play – they have to play Baltimore and Buffalo back-to-back, as I mentioned earlier, but they're both home games. So I don't know. I just don't see it.
I don't see it either.
I would definitely be taking the under on 8.5. Oh, I forgot to do my rankings. Hang on. Let me do the Jets first.
I hope you have the Drake ranked higher than Justin Fields.
Yeah. So for the Jets, team ranking is 29, QB ranking 28, and coach ranking 32. I just put Aaron Glenn as 32.
How rude.
I know. Well, I mean, somebody has to be. Like, I don't expect him to be there at the end, like when we do this next season. For the Dolphins, team ranking, I have him at 26. QB, I have Tua and McDaniel, same ranking, which is 20. So bottom, whatever that is, bottom third of the league.
I'm trying to look. I'm looking at coaches and seeing if I can think of teams that have worse coaches than. I don't know about Tennessee's coach.
So here's the thing. All of the first time coaches I kind of grouped together only because, like, Vrabel's different. Like, we've seen Vrabel coach. We've seen, I mean, doing this exercise made me realize why people do tiers instead of rankings, because it's easier. Because, like, that's what I would do. I would put all the first year coaches in a tier and then put, like, the coaches that are kind of had at least 1 year, but they're kind of like on a hot seat type deal.
Well, when Aaron Glenn finds out that he's last on your list, he's going to be in tiers too.
He might. How could Paul do this to me? Okay, so
I thought what we had was special, Paul.
Well, listen, if he was coaching the Saints, I would have put him higher.
There you go. Well, that would speak more. That would speak poorly of his decision-making skills. Sorry.
One thing I will say about going back to the Jets real quick with Glenn, he should get points for what he did with that Lions defense.
Oh yeah, because they were like, he was holding it together with the string and toilet paper at the end.
So the Jets defense, should definitely be.
That's a buy low opportunity.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on the Dolphins before we go?
No, let's move on to the reigning champions of the division.
The class of the division. Do you want to go through their offseason?
All right, the Buffalo Bills finished 13-4 in 2024 and lost the AFC Championship game. Their over/under this year is 11.5. Offseason moves: they brought in Joey Bosa, Josh Palmer, and re-signed Gregory Rousseau. They lost Kyer Elam, who joined the Cowboys, Mac Hollins, and Amari Cooper. I don't know if you want to actually count that as a loss. He is still languishing in free agency right now. They drafted Maxwell Hairston, who apparently has some.
He had a scary injury too, I think. Yeah.
Wasn't he? Didn't he get in trouble for something? Am I thinking of? Did I make that up?
No, you might be right, but I did see he was also dealing with like a knee issue.
Okay.
You keep going. I'll look it up here.
Okay. T.J. Sanders, Landon Jackson, and Deion Walker. Khalil Shakir is currently week to week with a high ankle sprain. They play the AFC North, NFC South, and then their first place schedule will include the Texans, Chiefs, and Eagles.
So, real quick, Maxwell Hairston was accused of sexual assault.
Okay, that's what I thought. I remembered something popping up with him.
He is, he's saying truth's going to come
out. He denies the allegations.
Yeah, he denies the allegations, all this stuff. But about a week ago, he suffered a right LCL sprain, but avoided major injury. His ACL, much like your guy, was it
Tyler Guyton?
Yeah. The ACL was intact, so they're just going to take it easy with him. By the way, Maxwell Hairston, I believe, was the fastest guy at the combine, right? He was like the 4.2.
Yeah, I think so. I remember him being fast.
Yeah, he was. I'm going fast. The Bills also right now are dealing with an injury to Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, I mentioned that one.
Did you mention that?
The high ankle sprain, day to day or week to week.
Yeah. Aren't we all? We're all week to week, I guess, at this point.
We're all day to day.
Okay, so for the Bills, I'm going to get to my wager for the Bills because it's pretty simple. I just put them as winning the Super Bowl. I think it was plus 600, 6-1. Because that's pretty much – no, it's plus 660.
What can I get the Bills to finish fourth in the AFC East?
That's a good question, actually.
Based on the Paul curse.
Yeah, on the jinx here. Let me just pull it up on ReBet real quick. Bills. You can get under 11.5 at plus 144. You can get fourth place in division at 30-1. And then, yeah.
Ooh, 30-1.
That's some sweet action. But yeah, so look, I think, am I off base
Don't
here?
tell me. You're gambling again, aren't you?
We are, Newman. We are indeed. But am I off base here? Is it Super Bowl or bust for this team?
I mean, it has to be. Like, at this point, right? Like, there's no... I mean, you've reached the AFC Championship multiple times, and you just can't get over that. You've gotten over it in the regular season, and you just can't do it in January when it matters. Like that, There's no other thing.
I was trying to come up with a comparison for this team and Josh Allen to teams of years gone by. The one I came up with was the Rivers Chargers.
Yeah,
like those teams like. Who would be so good on like both sides? Well, the Bills' defense, they've invested in the defense, and
they needed to because that was kind of a struggle for a little bit.
But going back to my comparison, like Rivers was always a guy who like the Chargers would get just so far, and they couldn't get over that Brady hump, or they couldn't get over the Peyton Manning hump.
I mean, they went 14-2. Those Chargers went like 14-2 one year, and then.
Lost to the Jets, I think.
Yeah.
In like a wild card round or something like that. So, obviously brought in Joey Bosa, the Landon Jackson and Deion Walker and T.J. Sanders draft picks should help their defensive line. Should being the operative word there. This James Cook contract stuff, I don't know how big a deal it is. It's a deal. I mean, he's not practicing right now, but
Yeah, what ends up like? How long does he end up holding out, and maybe does he take something like
Yeah.
like the Kyron Williams deal or something?
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, maybe that's what he was waiting. That was the domino they were waiting for. It was like, hey,
We
give
need
us
a
something to
baseline.
set the market. Yeah, we need to
Right.
set the market. But yeah, so if he's back, and then they also have Ray Davis, who they drafted out of Kentucky last year or the year before. From a receiver standpoint, I mean, obviously
Ray Davis, not the owner of the Texas Rangers. Ray Davis.
No, not that Ray Davis. I think we played this game already, but do you know who the backup quarterback is for the Buffalo Bills?
Hold on. I feel like I did know this.
I think we talked. I thought we talked.
Is
about
it? It's because it's not Tim Boyle because he's in Tennessee.
I told you. It's
I told
Tim
you.
Boyle's in Tennessee.
Is it a former Titan?
No, it's a former Bear. Former first round Bear.
First round Bear.
Drafted ahead of Mahomes.
Oh,
Andy,
why?
Andy, the Bears fan, screaming at his.
He's screaming at me. I have no. I can't like
Mitchell Trubisky.
Trubisky. Okay, I was trying to think between him because I was thinking of like the Jets bad quarter or the Bills bad
Mike
quarterback.
White?
No, the Bills bad quarterback who was like.
Lossman or
no,
Peterman
not
or-
Lossman. The one who was like terrible. The Peterman, because he went from Buffalo. Didn't he go to play for Chicago?
Oh yeah, he might have. You're right.
Yeah, so I think I got my wires crossed on that.
So Trubisky's the backup. Third string is Mike White, and then
Former
fourth
Cowboy.
string, and the fourth string I believe is your guy Shane Buechel.
Same Bouchel.
Buechel? No.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mispronounced his name last time too.
Longhorn legend, son of former Texas Ranger third baseman Steve Bouchel.
Right. Okay, so receiver. So if Shakir is out for an extended period of time, they drafted Keon Coleman. He showed flashes last year. They brought in Josh Palmer from the Chargers. Elijah Moore is there. Laviska Shenault from was it Jacksonville? He was with previously.
That sounds about I think that's right.
So, and then I think for them, they're like big target's going to be Kincaid and Dawson Knox.
Laviska Shenault, formerly of the Jaguars, the Panthers, the Seahawks, and the Chargers.
I want to say he tried out for the Saints too at one point, but that never came to anything. For the Bills, who was the Bills' leading receiver last year? He asked.
Wasn't Stephon? No. Stephon Diggs was in Houston last year.
It was Shakir. 821 yards.
See, that's the thing is they don't really have like Khalil Shakir's like their best wide receiver. They don't really have like a A1 type of guy. It's more like
so
it's like a wide receiver by committee, basically.
Yeah, their top three receivers were top five, I guess. Shakir, Keon Coleman,
Mac Hollins.
Mac Hollins was number 4. Dalton Kincaid was 3. Dawson Knox was 5. And then our guy Amari Cooper was 6.
Oh yeah,
and
I looked up.
Cooper played 8 games.
I looked up Amari Cooper like in his stats with the Bills, and it was not good.
Yeah, but yeah, so I mentioned my bet for them was plus 660 Super Bowl winner. Let me go to their rankings. I'm pretty sure they're ranked. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting. Wrong. Okay, so I have all 3 of their components are in the top 10. So from a team perspective, I have them number 3. Quarterback, I have them as 4. And coach, I have them as 9. And honestly, I could probably put McDermott a little lower.
I was going to say that feels a little high for McDermott.
Yeah, I mean, like I have him ahead of. Yeah, I probably could put him a little lower because, like, I have him ahead of Pete Carroll.
Yeah, that's. Well, I don't know. These
I have
days,
him ahead like Kyle Shanahan's 2 below him. Like that, Shanahan should probably be ahead of him, right?
Yeah,
so
now yeah. I can see an argument for him over Carroll. I can't see an argument for him over Shanahan.
Okay. Maybe I should make that.
We're workshopping. These rankings aren't official.
These rankings are not official. And again, I'm going to try to update these. Well, maybe not the coaches, but from a quarterback perspective, though, Allen, I don't know. Like, you famously, when Josh Allen was coming out of Wyoming, were not high on him.
Well, and I was not. Let me say, one, I was not the only one who felt like that. Two, for the first 2 years of his career, I was pretty right.
Yeah,
and so
he needed Brian Daboll to prove you wrong.
I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about, like, you know, a lot of these quarterbacks that start bad, like, then they never, like, turn it around. Like, they're like, well, there's Josh Allen, and they're like, well, Josh Allen's kind of the only one. And I was like, okay, so I got burned by the only guy who ever, like, turned from a garbage dump into an all-pro, okay? So, like, I don't feel too bad about that one. Who? No,
Geno Smith?
The one I feel the one that you should really roast me for is I thought Deshaun Kaiser was going to be good. That's the one. Like,
wow.
That's the one I was, like, wrong. Oh, no. Paxton Lynch. That one hurts more.
Oh, yeah.
That was personal.
That was your guy coming out of Memphis. Yeah.
The only saving grace was like, I said it, like, during the draft, I said, like, if we don't get Paxton Lynch, then I'd rather just, like, spend a mid-round pick on Dak Prescott. And so we did, and that worked out.
There you go. All right. Anything else on the Bills before we give our division rankings here?
All right, let's go. I think we're ready. Let's reveal
the rankings here. So here's how I'd like to do it.
Okay.
We'll start at the bottom. So we'll go 4-1. We'll give the team and then the record. So who do you have at number 4?
I have the Jets finishing 4-13.
Okay. I do not have the Jets. I have the Dolphins finishing 5-12.
Ooh. You're buying into the Aaron Glenn.
Yeah. My 32nd ranked coach. Fine.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna buy into him, you might want to rank him a little higher.
Yeah, that's true. Third place. Who do you have in third place?
I've got Miami going 7-10.
So I have the Jets in third place going 7-10.
Okay.
I'm guessing our 2-1 are the same.
I'm guessing so. What do you have? What do you have the record for New England?
So New England in second place, I have them 10-7.
Yep, me too.
And I have them being the 7th seed, the wild card.
I haven't finished all my games yet. So I don't have their standings in the.
We'll save playoff. We'll do that later.
Yeah,
yeah, that's fine. All right, so we both have the Patriots at 10-7, second
correct.
Place. And then what about the Bills?
I have them going 14-3.
So I have them going 13-4.
Yeah, and I can I feel like there's probably somewhere in there that I could knock off a game because like I said, I still haven't finished going through all these. So there may be something where I see someone else's schedule and end up taking but 13-4, 14-3 feels like they feel a comfortable over to me, like that 11.5.
Yeah. Again, with barring injury, I mean,
right.
If something happens to Allen, then all bets are off.
Yeah, that's the famous Peyton Manning quote.
Right.
Or I guess it was technically a Tom Moore quote about Peyton Manning where he said, why don't you practice, with your second team? And he said, if Peyton gets hurt, we're effed, and we don't practice effed.
Right. That's right. All right. So one division down. Let's go to your division, the NFC East here. Again, we'll start at the bottom, work our way up. So we'll start with the New York Football Giants, who last season was not a banner year for the Giants by any means. They finished 3-14. Their over-under this year is 5.5. They went out in the offseason and signed 2 quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. They also signed from the Saints Paulson Adebo, who's coming off a leg injury. And then they signed Javon Holland from the Dolphins. Mentioned him leaving the Dolphins. As far as departures go, they lost Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher. They lost safety Jason Pinnock. And they lost corner Adoree Jackson. In the draft, obviously the 2 first-round picks, Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart. They traded back up in the first round for Jackson Dart. Also got Darius Alexander, defensive tackle from Toledo, who got a lot of buzz going into the draft. And running back Cam Scatabo, who I think you and I were both high on. I've heard a lot of good things about him coming out of Giants training camp. So maybe he'll get some run, pun intended, here.
Mm-hmm.
Their non-division schedule, so the NFC East this year plays the NFC North, and they play do they play the AFC West? Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Why did I thought the AFC East and AFC and NFC East played each other for some reason.
Well, I mean, I think we're one of their other games.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. It's not the division, but it's that like other
other extra 17th game, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the Giants so the NFC East will play the NFC North and the AFC West. So that's not great. That's the 2 best divisions of football probably, or 2 of the better divisions of football. And then as a result of being in last place, the Giants get the Saints, the 49ers, and the Patriots as their extra 3 games. So
yeah, that's kind of a brutal last place
that's
schedule.
about as bad a last place schedule as you can have.
Yeah, that didn't work out very well.
No. So for the Giants, and I'm glad you brought that up because like I know the owner came out after last season and be like, all right, like we're gonna keep Dayball and
one more shot.
But like, man, you look at the schedule and like what they have ahead of them. This feels like setting yourself up for failure almost.
Yeah. So their schedule. They open at Washington.
Yep.
At Dallas.
Yep.
They come home to host the Chiefs. They host the LA Chargers, and then they go down to the Superdome to visit the New Orleans Saints, and then it's Philly, Denver, Philly.
Yeah. So this leads me into my wager for the Giants. My wager for the Giants is 1 win in the first 5 weeks. Got that at plus 230. It's very possible that the week 5 game, that first weekend in October in New Orleans, is 2 0-4 teams playing each other.
I love a good 0-4 team battle.
It's very, very possible. And it also might be 2 rookie quarterbacks. You might have Shuck against Dart, depending on how things go.
So I'm really curious because I keep when I was filling out the schedule, I kept thinking, I was like, well, how much does having Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, these are competent quarterbacks, right?
Yep.
They can show up and actually do something. But how much does that move the needle? And if it's not enough, how quickly do we get to the point where, it's okay, that's enough of this. We gotta go to the guy that we drafted. So it's hard. So when you're trying to fill out the schedule, like you do every year, and then I'm trying to do this year. It's point do you start looking at that, and how do you factor that into?
I kind of put the Giants in that feisty category. I think their defense is going to be pretty good. I mean, Abdul Carter and Dexter Lawrence. I feel like that the defense should be a problem. Brian Burns, this defense could be a problem for people. If Paulson Adebo is healthy, Adebo played well for the Saints when he was healthy before he got injured last year. Deontay Banks, who they drafted out of Maryland, there's pieces on this defensive side. The offense is going to be the problem. I mean, so beyond Russell Wilson, I mean, they're starting running backs Tyrone Tracy, who showed flashes last year.
Tracy's got something, I think.
Scatabo, they have Devin Singletary. Obviously,
I think I'm a little lower on Scatabo than a lot of people going in, just because I don't know how his running style will hold up at this level. Like, he's not a huge guy, and I know like he's kind of like he's his running style is very like punishing, and I think that's for him and others. And I just like, I'm not super like he could be fine, but I just don't know. I feel like there's a lot of downside risks that like we're not talking about enough.
That's fair. And I mean, right now he's listed third on the depth chart, so he may not even. I think this team.
He's supposed to be more of the receiving back, so I think he's going to get a lot more work, like when they're down, which is going to catching passes out of the backfield, which should be pretty often. So,
this team, much like their New York counterparts, they have a star receiver, Malik Neighbors, and then it's. Who's receiver two? You got Wan'Dale Robinson. You got Darius Slayton. Your guy, little Jordan Humphrey.
Who was it? Which one of it was the wide receiver who he would have like 20 catches for like 75 yards?
It might have been Neighbors.
It wasn't Neighbors. It was one of the other guys. Well, it was like, was it Wan'Dale Robinson?
Maybe Wan'Dale.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go look because there was one game where he had, and it was like the most insane number of catches and like no yardage because Daniel Jones just kept dumping it off to him like 2 yards.
Right. Yeah,
2 yards down the field.
And then at tight end, Theo Johnson, Daniel Bellinger. Their offensive line should be okay. That the Evan Neal project.
Their offensive line, I still think is going to have problems.
Yeah, which probably mean, and if their offensive line is going to be bad, they're not going to throw a dart. I don't think they're going to throw a dart out with that. They're just going to let Russ, who still at his age can move a little bit. Like he's not.
He loves to just throw that deep ball. Like that's his entire like. I remember someone like talked about like Russell Wilson's like his numbers like in terms of like EPA and like all of his EPA was basically like long shots down the field and any sort of short and intermediate passing he was like a net negative. And so basically like he's completely reliant on the deep ball to like provide any value.
We talked about this QB stat that Sean Payton came up with. One of the reasons Sean Payton was not a fan of Russell Wilson is because this stat, percentage of dropbacks resulting in sack, fumble, or interception for Wilson was usually high. So for Wilson last year it was 11.1%. For Jameis Winston it was 12.5%. So, I mean, you're looking at two quarterbacks that. Hopefully Dart doesn't pick up their mannerisms. Let's just say.
So I figured it out. So it was Wan'Dale. So Wan'Dale had 2 games. One at the end of the season against Philadelphia, he had 10 catches for 43 yards.
Wow.
And then one against the Cowboys for 11 catches for 71 yards.
I remember that. That was like a Thursday night game, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I remember it was like, it was that Thursday night game.
Because they just kept dropping it off to him.
And because Cooper Rush started that game for the Cowboys, I think. And I remember because you guys were still kind of in the playoff hunt. Like it wasn't
still alive. Yeah, still alive at that point.
All right, for the Giants real quick. So I have their team ranking as 28.
Okay.
I have quarterback ranking. So I'm going with Russell as the starter. This is Russell as the starter. I have them at 18.
Okay.
And then coach ranking I'm having at 21.
Okay.
So again, I have to give Russell a little benefit of the doubt. I mean, the guy was in 2 Super Bowls once upon a time. I know those are bygone years, but they got to start they got to start somewhere. So, all right, what else? I did my wager for them. Anything else on the Giants before we?
Nope, I think we're ready to move on to my boys.
Okay, well, I'll let you take it away.
All right, the Dallas Cowboys finished 7-10 in 2024. Their over/under is set at 7.5. I got this at -101 for the over. It is now -165. So you got some line value there. Offseason moves, new head coach Brian Schottenheimer, new offensive coordinator Clayton Adams, and new defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. They brought in Kenneth Murray, the linebacker. Osa Odigizua was re-signed. They brought back Dante Fowler, and then they traded for George Pickens. They also traded for Joe Milton. Zach Martin retired.
I keep forgetting about Joe Milton.
How do you forget?
How dare I? Yeah,
you're not plugged into the machine of Cowboys.
I'm
Twitter.
not. Yeah, you and Landon, man, you guys were all about it when we talked.
They lost Zach Martin to retirement. Rico Dowdle signed with Carolina, and DeMarcus Lawrence signed with the Seattle Seahawks. They drafted Tyler Booker, Donovan Ezeraku, who has been looking good in camp. Siobhan Revell Jr. and Jaden Blue, who's actually also starting to get a little more playing time as training camp goes on. So fingers crossed there.
We'll see.
So they'll play the NFC North, AFC West, and then the Panthers, Cardinals, and the Jets. I guess we should probably open this with the Micah Parsons discussion.
Probably, yeah. So here's my question for you.
Okay.
I heard someone mention this. Does this become the Emmitt Smith deal where he actually misses games, and let's just say he misses the first couple games, the defense is not looking good, and then Jerry's just like, "Fine, here's your money." Like,
I feel like they've wised. I mean, they're idiots, but I don't think they're that big of idiots yet. I mean, they got the Dak deal done, they got the CD deal done, at some point in August. They got the Dak deal done. The Dak deal was less urgent because he wasn't holding out. Like, he would have gone in, and then his next year would have been the big problem. So they got that deal done the day the game started, the week one.
Yeah, Sunday morning.
Yeah, it was right before. It was the contract's finished finally.
You can't wait till Sunday of week one to get Micah done.
No, this one
Thursday. Yeah.
No, this one can't. This one you can't be doing that. It'll get done. I will say one of my favorite parts of this is people putting together their fake trade proposals, and then there's not.
I was going to ask you, what?
There's not a single first round pick included in the package, and you're just I don't know what you think you're getting away with here, buddy.
Well,
it's that meme where he's the guy saying you receive X and I receive Y, and it's basically I receive all the gold in Fort Knox, and you receive this handkerchief. It's
right. You receive a pat on the back.
Gosh,
You okay?
Yeah. My cat's going in for surgery tomorrow. He's stopped by to say hi. So
he's trying to talk you out of it.
Yeah, apparently he's fasting for surgery, and I think he's trying to tell me that he's got to eat before surgery because he needs his strength.
He needs his strength. Yeah. You got it. Okay, so I'm sure you've seen this, but when Khalil Mack was traded from Oakland to Chicago, Bears gave up 2 firsts, 1 third, and a 6th, and got back in return Khalil Mack, 2nd-round pick, and a conditional 5th.
Yeah, and I think Khalil Mack was a little older at that point too. I think
he was 27. He was 27. Mike is 26.
Okay.
So, all the trades I've heard, the fake trades have been the Cowboys would get a player back and at least 2 firsts.
Yes.
Which seems reasonable.
If it doesn't start with 2 firsts, get away. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Saints Twitter's been like, "Oh, should we trade for Micah?" It's like, no. Why? I mean, don't get me wrong, Micah's a great player, but what are we gonna do with?
Yeah,
he's gonna be like that Camaro under the shitty.
Awning. with the terrible house.
But now, Brandon, I'm gonna preface this. So, as you alluded to, my jinx is real.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did for you, since I value our friendship,
Eagles 17-0.
No, I took the Cowboys under 7.5 wins at plus 133.
Okay,
that's my wager. Now, when we get to the predictions later, I'm going to contradict that.
You're going against it,
but. So I'm kind of hedging a bet there a little bit. Would you like to know my rankings for the Cowboys?
All right, let's hear them.
So from a team perspective, I have you 16. So you're right in that meaty part of the curve, not falling behind,
showing off.
Not showing off. Quarterback ranking, I have Dak 6th.
Okay, that's actually okay. I can live with that.
I mean, felt right to me. I don't know. Now, that obviously is assuming that he stays healthy. But,
right.
And then from a coach ranking, apologies, I have Schottenheimer 31st.
Yeah, and that I can get because, he's a first-time head coach, and, I will say – so
honestly, I think I had him 32nd at first, and then I was like –
poor Aaron Glenn.
Well, and then I was like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because at least he's staying in the same system. Glenn's got to start over with so I don't know. And we don't know how official any of these rankings are.
And this is one of the things Landon and I talked about this is both of us had similar reactions when the hiring was made and how the process was done.
Right.
But what you see, in the training camps and the press conferences and everything is he says the right things. And also one of the other things is that what he says he follows through with. It's we're going to do more motion. We're going to have condensed splits. We're going to do more play action. And when you get to the practices, that's what they're running. They're actually doing what they talked about. They're, the run game is more diverse. You see them implement the things that they actually talk about, which were things that we wanted to hear. They're actually doing and implementing.
Any concern about the fights and Didn't he have to make them run laps or something?
Yeah, so they wanted to have a physical practices during training camp, which I think is probably why they've had a decent amount of injuries kind of piling up. But he said we want to be physical, but you got to have a limit here. We need to know when to turn it off because you can't be getting 15-yard penalties. It's good to show fight, but you got to know when to stop. And so he it's you want to fight? Well, fine. He made everybody go to the sideline, and then he also made the coaches run with the players because he said, the coaches also need to be able to stop their players from going over the line. You're accountable to the people that you're coaching. So,
real quick on my rankings, I just realized I have Dak as the highest rated quarterback in the NFC East.
Okay, that's what I like to hear, Paul. Paul, you're saying you
I feel bad because I don't want to jinx Dak, but maybe I should put Joe Milton ahead.
Oh, there we go.
No, I like this idea. We need to get the ostrich from Family Guy. Ha ha. Do you have that one?
Ha ha.
There we go.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear that one?
There it is. Okay, so let's see. So we did that. I did my rankings. Anything else about the Cowboys you want to? I'm kind of giving you the floor here because
I think I kind of talked about what we needed to talk about this week.
Anything quirky with their? How do you feel about the running back room? You talked about Jaden Blue.
There was one more thing because a few weeks ago you brought up that Lael Collins had been.
Oh yeah,
but he is now back with the Cowboys.
I saw that. Yeah.
So that just happened today. I knew there was something else that I had on the news list.
He's listed as the backup right tackle on this depth chart I'm seeing. From a schedule perspective, so obviously we know first game of the year at Philadelphia, home Giants, at Chicago, home Green Bay, at the Jets. That's manageable, but I would say, and we talked about this when the schedule was released, after your bye week, man, it is rough. You've got at Vegas on a Monday night, home Philly, home Kansas City on Thanksgiving, which will probably be the most watched Thanksgiving Day game ever, I would imagine.
Yep.
At Detroit the following Thursday, home Minnesota, home Chargers, at Washington on Christmas, and then you close out the year at the Giants. That's brutal, man. I mean, that's
so. My hope is that those
you're playing
Giants,
6 playoff teams from last year.
Those Giants and Vikings games, I'm hoping are are softer than they look right now, going into the season, because you've got McCarthy, you've got the Lions situation, which is that's going to be a question going. That's one of the things. That's one of the unknowns that we have going into the season, because they lost both their coordinators, and so how well do they replace those guys, right?
Yeah. So to me, your first 9 games going into your bye, you need to be 5-4, 6-3 going into your bye.
Yeah.
If you're there, then you probably feel okay for the rest of the season. But we'll talk about where we've got them here in a minute. Let's move on to are you ready to move on?
Yep.
All right, so let's move on to the Washington Commanders, who finished 12-5 in 2024, lost in the NFC Championship game. Kind of a overachieving team, I would say. Their over-under this year is 9.5. So think about that. They won 12 games last year. The over-under this year is 9.5. So I don't think that might that might tell you what people think about a potential backslide from the Commanders. Offseason, they traded for Deebo Samuel. They also traded for Laramie Tunsil, which the Houston Texans had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, and they traded their best offensive lineman. We'll talk more about that, I guess, with the Texans.
That's one of my favorite offseason stories. Is the Texans decided to self-sabotage, apparently.
So if you're the and they also traded one of their offensive linemen to the next team as well. But so if you're the Commanders, you're like, so wait a minute, what? Are we getting Tunsil at his best? What's going on here? They also brought in Javon Kinlaw. Departures, Jonathan Allen left to go to Minnesota, I believe. Jeremy Chin, and then Dante Fowler, that we mentioned.
Back to the boys.
Cowboys. They didn't have much of a draft. I think they didn't have many picks, if I remember correctly, but they did draft Josh Connerly, offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And they also draft Troy Famous Amos, corner out of Ole Miss. Check their depth chart here. So obviously for them coming into this year, Dan Quinn's second year, Jaden Daniels' second year. I guess let me do their rankings real quick. Just get that out of the way. So I had them. So I have, from a team ranking perspective, I have them 8th, which I might be a little high, but I got to give them a little bit of respect since they, after what they did last year. From a QB perspective, I have them 11th, and coach ranking, I have them 12th. So, former Cowboy defensive coordinator Dan Quinn with them. I mentioned this to you last week, I think. Their wager I made for them, I got them missing the playoffs at plus 129, which...
Oh, nice.
That felt like, so I felt pretty good about that number, locking that in. But from a perspective here, we've talked about Daniels having a sophomore slump potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Debo has not garnered a lot of encouragement, I would say, based on what we've seen coming out of their training camp. We talked about Tunsil a minute ago. Like, they do have still Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler. That's their running back field. The Terry McLaurin thing. I'm going to be honest. The McLaurin thing sounds almost worse than the Micah thing.
Oh, that one seems pretty like the Micah thing is like very clearly like I'm putting this trade request out there because to try to make this deal go faster. The McLaurin thing seems like he wants to be paid like, was it Debo, and then but also Washington is like no.
Right. Because they have Debo, Noah Brown. You know who else is in the wide receiver room there in Washington? Cowboy legend Michael Gallup.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Also Luke McCaffrey.
Is Noah Brown still there, or did he move on?
Noah Brown is still there.
Okay.
Noah Brown is Jacoby Jones. Is it?
Jacoby Jones? That's like, I thought didn't he pass away?
Well, this is a different one, obviously. This is a rookie from Central Florida.
Okay.
So, no.
Rest in peace, Jacoby Jones.
To the late great Jacoby Jones. On defense, they have a couple of former Saints now. Obviously, Marshawn Lattimore they traded for. Will Harris, I guess I should have mentioned him as an addition. Coming over from the Saints.
See, Marshawn Lattimore is like the kind of player that I wish the Saints would do deals with the Eagles with. Like, hey, trade the guys who are pretty washed up.
No, we send them Zach Bond. Yeah.
I know. I don't know what to do with this guy. Here, take it.
Listen to here's their three linebackers for the Washington Commanders. Frankie Louvu, who was famously the guy that kept jumping over the pile. Their other two linebackers are Bobby Wagner and Von Miller. 5 years ago, this would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Like, this defense would have been.
Let's get some washed up guys.
Their defensive line should be pretty good. Deron Payne, Dorrance Armstrong.
Also former Dorrance Armstrong, also former Cowboy.
Lattimore, I think I read somewhere, Lattimore says he feels healthy now, like he wasn't fully healthy last year, which, okay.
Well, he certainly played like he wasn't fully healthy last year.
Yeah, that's maybe something you say when you get traded somewhere and it doesn't go the right way. But when you were really bad last year, I was playing hurt. Right. Their schedule, let's take a look at their schedule here. So they open Giants. I mentioned this in passing a couple weeks ago. I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants beat the Commanders week 1.
I can see that happening, especially with the quarterback situation, like if Russell Wilson's playing.
Right. Then they have a quick turnaround on Thursday. They go to Green Bay. So week 2, they're the first game of week 2 at Green Bay. Come back, host the Raiders, go to Atlanta, go to the Chargers. Come back, host the Bears in a rematch of the Hail Mary game from last year. That's a Monday night game this year. And then back-to-back, they go at Dallas and then at Kansas City on a Monday night. And then they have 3 home games. Well, we mentioned, they have the 4 home games in a row with a bye week. But one of those games is against Miami. And, who's the home game there?
No. Miami is the home team in the.
Okay, ESPN just has it listed odd. That's why I was
okay.
But
anyway.
Yeah,
because it's like Seattle at Washington, Detroit at Washington, Washington at Miami, Denver at Washington.
Okay. Yeah, so they host Seattle, Detroit, go to Spain, play the Dolphins, have a bye week, and then host on a Sunday night game the Broncos, which it should be a pretty good game. Broncos Commanders. And then they finish out the year. Their last 5 games are at Minnesota, at the Giants, home Philly, home Dallas, at Philly. Aside from that, and even that Giants game, that's tricky, man. You got all of your division opponents at the end of the season and Phillies, you got to double up 2 and 3 weeks. So I'm not high on this team.
Yeah, and one of the things that we should point out is like we make so much of like they reached the conference championship game, but like their first game they were trailing 17-13 in the fourth quarter, and then Baker Mayfield fumbles a snap and the Commanders recover it. Yeah, and they end up kicking a field. They score there, but then like Tampa Bay eventually ties it back at 20, and then they're able to kick a field goal as time expires to win that first game, and then they get to play a Detroit team who's like decimated by injury at that point. And it was just kind of running on fumes.
And Detroit did not help themselves.
No, they continually. Well, Goff like had an awful game in that one too, didn't he? Wasn't he like horrendous? And so like they kind of like had. It's one of those years where you see like this happens in the NBA a lot, where a team just kind of ends up with like a certain path, and they make like I think the Blazers did this one year. They make the conference championship, and then you're like, well, that's never happening again. And it just and saying it was never happening again is probably like being a little too flippant about
Harsh,
it. But but it's like, there were extenuating circumstances that kind of like led this, and so like I can see this going the wrong way.
All right, quick trivia for you, Brandon. Who was the leading rusher for the Commanders last year?
Wasn't Austin Eckler, was it?
Nope.
Brian Robinson?
Nope.
Jaden Daniels?
It was Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I should have known that from the.
That's something to keep your eye on. Jaden Daniels had 891 yards rushing. Brian Robinson had 799. Eckler only had 367.
Oh yeah, because he got derailed by
injury,
concussions.
Yeah, he only played in 12 games. Eckler, that is. From a receiving standpoint, McLaurin had 1,096 yards. The next leading receiver was Zach Ertz at 654. So, yeah, if this McLaurin thing goes too long, I mean, you're kind of relying on Debo at that point.
Debo hasn't exactly looked svelte.
Yeah, so my advice to them would be try to get that done sooner rather than later. All right, let's see. So we did the rankings. Yeah, I did the rankings. I did the prop bet. I guess we'll move on to the last team for our preview here this evening.
Last in my heart.
You want me to do this one, or you?
Yes. Yeah. I don't want to talk about this team.
All right. Fair enough.
I'm gonna. Nah.
The reigning and defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, 14-3. We'll remind everyone they were facing 1-2 in the Superdome, and the Saints just couldn't close the door. And then,
it sucks.
We know what happened after that.
It sucks.
Their over-under this year is 11.5, just like the Bills, right? Bills was 11.5. Offseason move, they obviously lost their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, who is now the head coach of my Saints. They also lost a couple staff members to the Saints. TJ Paganetti springs to mind, who was their, I believe he was a run game coordinator.
Paganetti.
They did re-sign Lane Johnson. They also signed former Saint Zach Bond, who could not get on the field in New Orleans and is now first-team All-Pro and ranked like top 5 linebacker in the NFL. So go figure. They did also trade for Kenyon Green, as we mentioned. That was the other Texans offensive line trade into this division.
Yep.
They did lose Milton Williams. We talked about Milton Williams going to the Patriots. Josh Sweat, I believe, is with the Cardinals now. And then Mekhi Becton also departed from – he made his money for sure after his kind of comeback season with them. In the draft, they had another kind of steal in the first round with Jahad Campbell. Campbell, I believe, is on the PUP list right now. I think he's dealing with a shoulder injury.
Wasn't that something that like kind of one of the reasons he fell so far was like there were medical red flags there.
Medical stuff going on. Just give me a second. I'm pulling up there. Pulling this up here. Jahad Campbell, your guy from UT. I know this hurts you, but Andrew Makuba, safety. And they also drafted Kyle McCord, who quarterback, from Syracuse, formerly of The Ohio State University. And then today, they finalized the trade with the Raiders for cornerback Jacorian Bennett. I guess I should also mention they traded C.J. Gardner-Johnson. In that trade for Kenyon Green, C.J.
To the Texans.
Goes back to Houston. And he's had some comments this offseason about his feelings about leaving Philadelphia. They weren't kind.
That's a shame.
He won a Super Bowl, so I mean.
Well, I love anybody trashing the Eagles on the way out.
I know you do. So as a result of them winning, obviously being first place in the division, their 3 extra games this year are the Buccaneers, the Rams, and the Bills. So let's talk a little bit about their schedule here. I kind of did a cop-out with them on their 2025 bet. I just went Super Bowl winner with them as well, like I did with the Bills. Got it at 7-1.
Well, I will say on ReBet they have their over 11.5 is like plus money, and the under is like minus 135.
Ooh. Okay, so that's something to think about. I will say, man, their schedule out of the box, their first 5 weeks are obviously Dallas week 1. Then they go to Kansas City week 2, come back, host the Rams, go to Tampa, come back, host the Broncos. That's 5. I mean, Dallas wasn't a playoff team last year, but I mean, listen, that's, we were a
playoff team the year before.
Right. So, but the other 4 teams, I mean, the Rams almost beat them in Philadelphia, in that divisional round game. And then they get the Giants twice in 3 weeks. They go to Minnesota. So it kind of lightens up before the bye. But then after the bye, it's at Green Bay, home Detroit, at Dallas, home Chicago, at the Chargers, home Vegas, Washington 2 out of the last 3 weeks. And then they have a trip to Buffalo week 17. Like, that's not easy, man. Like, this schedule is not easy. And again, another new offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts. Let me make your day here, hopefully. Tell you where I've got them ranked. So from a team perspective, I have them number 4. Quarterback ranking, I have them 7th. Coach ranking, I have 8th. I have Sirianni 8th. Again, I have to give him some credit for winning. I mean, he kept the ship afloat enough to get him to the Super Bowl last year. So
I guess he just didn't get in the way too much.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess once he stopped yelling at fans.
Yeah, fair enough, right?
What an obnoxious person.
Can we get that as a soundbite?
I'm pulling that word. So apparently, when C.J. Gardner-Johnson originally left the Eagles, because you remember he was with Detroit the year before,
right.
He said he went on a live stream and he said, "All right, my least favorite thing about Philadelphia is the people. They're expletive obnoxious. I expletive can't stand the expletives."
One thing to kind of keep in mind with this team, obviously Saquon had like a once in a lifetime season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to rush for 2,000 yards again? Probably not.
Most of the time, running backs who have that sort of workload, the next year sort of fall off a cliff. Now, that said, they still have a really good offensive line, so that probably helps. So he might. But,
they do.
But I would love to see him fall off a cliff.
Well, they also brought in A.J. Dillon from the Packers.
Oh yeah,
they have Will Shipley. They've got some running backs who can maybe take that load off of Barkley a little bit. Receiver, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson. That's still there. Dallas Goedert still a tight end. That's again new new offensive coordinator who I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but replacing Kellen Moore. Who is it? Kevin Patullo. And then Vic Fangio is obviously back as defensive coordinator. So, would it shock me if the Eagles got back to the Super Bowl? No. Would it shock me if the Eagles missed the playoffs? No. Like, again, their schedule's...
It's a pretty tough schedule. The NFC East schedule is not, like, for everybody, it's, like, pretty brutal.
Well, yeah, because you're playing the NFC North and the AFC West.
And we have to play the NFC East, which is obviously...
obviously.
It's not like the NFC South over here, Paul.
We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. All right. Do you want to say anything about the Eagles? Tron, you want to say anything nice about the Eagles?
No.
I didn't think so.
Hold on.
Right,
where's the bleep button on here? Oh, wait.
Where's my?
Here's what I have to say about the Eagles.
Well, it sucks.
That's what I think about them.
I didn't hear it. What was it?
Oh.
Well, it sucks.
It's just Frank saying it sucks.
Oh, okay. No.
So.
Fair enough. All right. Do you want to do our NFC East division predictions?
Yeah.
Again, we'll go from the bottom to the top. I'm going to guess we have the same team at the bottom.
I'm guessing so too.
Is it the New York Football Giants?
It is, and I have them finishing with the same record as their New York counterparts, or their AFC counterparts, the Jets, 4-13.
Okay. So I have them a little better than that. I have them 6-11.
Ooh, dangerous.
All right, now it gets interesting.
Yep.
Who do you have finishing third?
I have Washington.
So do I.
7-10.
I have them 8-9.
Okay. So that means I'm assuming you've got Dallas second.
I do. And
so
like I said, I'm contradicting my under 7.5 pick here.
So I have Dallas and Philly with the same record.
I have Philly one game better than Dallas.
I don't have like the tiebreakers figured out here. So
yeah.
I have Dallas 10-7.
Oh, so I have Dallas 10-7. I have Philly 11-6.
Okay, so we're in the ballpark though. Like
we're not too far off. So there is. You talk about tiebreakers. We'll talk about this when we get to the playoff predictions later. I had to go look up tiebreaker scenarios to figure out who my seventh seed was in the NFC. I'll just tease that for down the road. But okay, so we agree. So NFC East, we agree on the order. Our records are a little mixed, but
mostly within reason, within margin of error.
Within margin of error, sure. Okay, so and I mentioned this with my rankings. I think I'm going to do the team rank. I'm going to try to do the team rankings every week.
Okay.
The quarterback and the head coach, I may not do every week, but maybe like every couple of weeks, just kind of revisit because the quarterbacks are going to presumably change. Like Russell Wilson may not be the quarterback for the Giants all season,
right?
But all right. So we've got so far. If we're keeping score on division winner. So we both have the Bills winning the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't figured out your tiebreaker yet.
I need to figure out the tiebreaker there.
So I have the Eagles winning the NFC East, but I have the Cowboys. I'm guessing you have them splitting head-to-head.
Yeah, so I have them splitting with Dallas. I know that much. I think I had them splitting with Washington too. So there's going to be some funny business going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it may come down to divisional record.
Yeah. Okay. So next week we will be previewing the AFC and NFC North divisions, the Kings of the North, as it were. and those are going to be interesting. I think now did they play each other? There's two. Yeah, they play each other. AFC North, NFC North play each other. So we will actually talk about the AFC East a little bit next week because the AFC North plays the AFC East and the NFC North plays the NFC East. So we will have a little bit of crossover there, but not too much since we kind of talked about it here. So that's our predictions. Sure to go wrong for the AFC and NFC East. Brandon, you got anything else before we sign off?
Yeah, I've got one question for you. Is that a jersey over the back of your chair?
Yeah, that's my my Astros SFA jersey.
Okay, because it looked it looked blue, and I was like, what? So I was trying to figure out.
So gotcha. I tried to show it off last week, but
you wore it last week on the show.
Yeah, so you got Astros. You can kind of see that. You got the SFA crest here on the side, and then on the back we got Jax 23.
As we know, your name is Paul Jax.
Of course, yeah. Changed it legally, as prescribed. But yeah, no, that was what I got at the Astros game. I went to the Astros game and all I got was this jersey. All right, well, if that's it for this week. We'll see everybody next week. Again, we'll preview the AFC, NFC North. We'll probably talk about the preseason games. I would imagine maybe sprinkle a little in there.
Yeah, the Cowboys play Saturday.
Saints are the last game of the weekend on Sunday. 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon, I believe, on NFL Network.
Yep.
Can you imagine if they had an NFC and AFC network?
Oh, gosh.
Well, they do. It's called Fox and CBS.
That's true.
Well, not as much as it used to be, but yeah. Oh, by the way, real quick before we go, what do you think of the ESPN buying the NFL Network or purchasing or whatever?
Feels like something's going to go wrong. There's going to be some funny business.
Well, I mean, Rich Eisen announced maybe last week, his show is going to ESPN Plus.
Okay.
He's still obviously going to work for NFL Network and do the Sunday pregame show and all that stuff.
Well, isn't ESPN Plus like making like a new jacked up like super membership? There's like $30
probably
a month too.
Because like right now you can watch Rich Eisen's show free on the Roku channel. I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Say goodbye to that, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be the case once. So I know like with McAfee's show, when McAfee went to ESPN, they kept the YouTube side. Like you can watch it on YouTube. I don't know if that's going to be the case with Rich Eisen's show. I hope it is because I like Rich Eisen's show. I try to. I may not watch it every day, but I at least watch the clips on YouTube every day. Rich Eisen did say he's going to start a podcast called This Was Sports Center, where he interviews former Sports Center anchors that he worked with in his time at ESPN. So might be cool. Obviously, that's how Rich got his start, or kind of how he got his start. So, but yeah, I just found that interesting. And then I guess the NFL is going to have like a 10% stake in ESPN.
I thought it was the other way around.
I mean, yeah, you're right. ESPN's going to have a 10% stake in the NFL.
The NFL will get a 10% ownership stake in ESPN.
Okay, there you go. So I'm sure that will have no effect on
which way did I say it?
I don't remember.
I
think you said it right.
Okay.
So I'm sure this will have no bearing whatsoever on how ESPN covers the NFL.
See, that's my big concern there.
Yeah.
Can we at least get good analysis now?
I mean, I don't know if we saw Shannon Sharp is no longer with ESPN.
Well, that's a shame. Can we get rid? Now, we need to get rid of Stephen A. Smith.
Well, I mean, he's going to run for president, so
thank goodness. Yeah. That'll at least save. That'll at least save me from bad.
Man, why did
sports
ESPN's 30 years from now, it's like, what happened to ESPN's analysis? Why did it get so much better? Well, Stephen A. Smith ran for president.
President Smith. Oh,
he's kind of like a walking Jackie Childs. Like he's got that Jackie
outrageous.
Childs, you know.
What is that? What is the crab rangoon preposterous things of that nature?
It's a
Paul, you're gone dark on me.
Yeah, my monitors are quitting on me. That must mean it's time to go.
That's a sign.
That's a good sign. Stephen A. Smith's trying to shut me up.
Yeah.
All right,
they're trying to silence us, Jerry.
We'll talk to everybody next week. Get ready to preview the Kings of the North. Hope everybody enjoys the preseason football this weekend. Until next week, happy football, everybody.
Happy football.